Good day, everybody. My name is Vid, and this week I'd like to do a quick summary of the latest updates on our software that has happened in the past week. So this is something that we'd like to do every week to keep you up to date about new improvements in features that you may be using to grow your business, as well as let you know about brand new features that will significantly help you enhance your business even further. So without further ado, let's dive into the latest updates for this past week. So the first update I've got for you is with Social Planner. You can now do a little bit more with the RSS publishing. So what RSS publishing is an automated way to push out news to the internet regarding stuff that's happened on your website, for example, or your blog. This one is a really good use case. Whenever you create a new article on your blog, so I'm just going to take you to an example here. So in Sites, if you head over to Sites and you go into the blogs, you can create your own blog site and you can release new articles, which is a really good way to boost your SEO and create educational content that can help educate potential prospects into becoming buyers of your products or services. So content marketing is a very effective way, right? So you can release new articles that way, but in your blog, you can also grab the RSS. So I'm going to show you what that is. I've got a blog site here as an example. I'm going to click on the gear icon right here, and then in here, you've got the RSS option. So this is what the link is. And so I can grab this link, and then I can go into Social Planner, like so, and then click on New Post. And instead of selecting New Post, I'm going to select RSS Posts. And then here is I can drop that link, like so. And then I can select which social accounts does it go out to. So maybe I'll select Facebook and maybe I'll select LinkedIn because I've got those. And then what I can now see is the preview of the latest article that I've published on the blog. Now I can also, and this is the new update here, is I can now include a description of the post. If I check this box, now the post will not include the graphic that accompanies the article, but now we also have a little bit of context, a little bit of a description about what that article is about, which can help sway somebody to actually want to read it, click on the link and read the full article. So now what RSS does is once I've configured this, here is how often I want the RSS feed to check for the latest news. So normally you might do like once a day. So this be every day the system will check for, is there a new article being released on the blog? And if it isn't, nothing's going to get sent out. But so this is how you configure it, and then you hit create, and then this will now work automatically every time you create new articles. So that's the new update. Up next, we have ability for you to streamline how many notifications you get related to tasks. So whenever you get tasks in the system, you might be receiving a daily summary. And up until now, the daily summary would have always gone out, even if you didn't have any task created for the day. So that wasn't really very helpful. So now we give you an option to toggle this off. Let me show you where you find that. So inside Stand Out from the Back, what you need to do is head over to Settings down bottom left corner, click on Settings, and then click on My Profile. This will take you to your profile section where you can adjust your details. From there, up the top, you've got another option where you can click on Notifications. And this is where you can customize all the different notifications that the system sends you about different events that happen. So whilst this is not a full extent of what you can get notified on, you might have additional custom automations that you build that notify you about other things. This is more of a default feature-related notifications, but nevertheless, still a really good set of notifications to get notified on. So you've got different categories, conversational settings, you've got task notifications. These are really the two key ones. Being notified about when somebody messages you and when to respond to somebody can be pretty helpful. So you can decide whether you want to just get a basic in-app notifications, which is what shows up the top here. If you click on notifications, is what shows up, different things. But you can also decide to receive an email notification or an SMS. So you've got all these options available to you. And so what this new update is about is regarding daily notification about tasks that you've got for the day. So up until now, even if you didn't have any task for the day, you'd still get a summary for the day, which was like pointless. So now you can simply toggle this off. If you have, this selected, then you can simply toggle off to not receive anything if there is no tasks set up for the day. Now, where you find tasks, just in case you are looking at this and like, what task are you talking about? So we do have a tasks feature, which is great if you're doing a follow-up with leads and you want to, maybe you've contacted them and you want to follow up in a week time about something relevant that you've spoken about. You might want to create a task for yourself. So tasks allow you to do that and be able to check them off. So it's a really helpful way to stay organized and know what you need to do for the day. You can also create your own very custom tasks that are unrelated to contacts. You could run a whole business on this as a task management. So that's the new update, not receiving any notifications for the day if there is nothing. Then our next update is regarding WhatsApp. So if you didn't know, you can also integrate your WhatsApp for your business to be able to communicate with leads. So what you now have available is you can actually schedule drip messages. So that's what the new update is. If you'd like to learn more about how the WhatsApp works and what are all the different possibilities with WhatsApp for your business to help you grow your business, you can head over to help.standoutfromthepack.com and you can simply search in our library of articles and you'll be able to find out a lot more information there. We've got a ton of articles regarding WhatsApp, so you can dive into more of that, or come along to one of our open office hours that we run each week. Our next update is the email builder. So we have a drag and drop email builder, which allows you to create beautiful looking email newsletters that you can send out to your contact list, your customers, your leads. So now what we've got is more enhanced and flexible user interface. So it's how you see it, how you can adjust things. So as you can see here on the screen, we can click into the text. Now everything is being shifted to the right-hand side. It used to be on the left-hand side. So now all the tools are on the right-hand side, which is the same framework that we have with our website and funnel builder. So it just goes a long way with streamlining and knowing when things are more consistently across all the apps. Communities got a little bit of an update as well. So communities, if you didn't know, allows you to create your own very much private communities, kind of like Facebook groups, but for your own business, for your own customers. Let's say you're running a gym and you want to stay in touch with your members outside of the gym space. You might want to create an online community to continue fostering that engagement. It goes a long way in retention, and yeah, it's a great way to add additional layer to your business where you can interact with your customers. So what you can now do is you can create a new course. So let's say inside our own community, when you click on learning, I could easily go here and add a new course, give it a name, and I could decide the accessibility. So is it something that's going to be available to all the members of our community, or is it going to be only when people reach a particular level based on engagement? Or is it something that we're going to charge for, or is it going to be a time-based? So it only unlocks after a certain period of time, or makes it private where only if I grant access to something. So let's just go and give it an example. I'm just going to select this staff onboarding course, just disregard the name as an example. I'm going to make this a private course and add it into the community. And now what this new update allows us to do is I can directly add a member to a course directly from here, which wasn't possible before. So I can go and click on members. This is going to show me all the members of our community. And then I can click on these three dots. And then from here, I can click on manage courses. And then from here, I can decide which courses I'm going to grant to the person. I can see the courses that the member already has access to, and then I can search for additional courses and then grant the access directly from here rather than having to go into the CRM view and do it that way. Our next update, I'm sure is going to be very popular for those of you who are managing your own automations. We now have advanced tag filtering on triggers. So previously, if you wanted to create a workflow, it gets triggered on when somebody fills a form, for example. But then if you wanted to filter out those that have a particular tag, you had to create an if-else split, where now you no longer have to. You can actually specify that filter directly on the trigger. So let me show you what it looks like inside the system. So if we head over to automations, let's just go ahead and create a new workflow just to show you in a quick example. So we're going to start from scratch. Let's say we want to do this every time there's a brand new contact being created in the system. So what we're going to do, we're going to click on here, click new trigger, and we're going to type in contact and use this one here. I'm just showing you an example. Okay, so if I save the trigger, this is how the workflow will get triggered, and then whatever the action I've specified, whether it's, send an email to somebody or whatever would happen. But if I wanted to filter out people who don't fit particular criteria, I would have to do an if-else condition, and I would have to do like contact details, maybe includes, if I only want people who fit into, let's say, leads from Brisbane, only those would go into the workflow. This is how I would have to do it previously. I would have to create these if-else conditions and define it. Well, now I don't have to do that. I can get rid of this altogether, and I can just specify contact is created and tag is here. Tag is equals to, for example, that one that I've got there, Brisbane. Okay, so if only the brand new contact is being created and they have the tag Brisbane, is when this workflow would get triggered. So it's just streamline things a little bit more for you and makes it a lot easier. And you can also stack the filters as well. So you can have multiple different filters, by the way. I hope you find it useful. If you have more questions on this or want to troubleshoot anything like that, as always, come along to our open office hours that we run every week, and we'll help you fix this live. Our next update is now you can find contact through additional email and phone search. This is another workflow action where previously, if you wanted to find a contact in a CRM to run an automation against, it was only based on one particular email. However, we have contacts that might have more than one email address. So let me just show you what I mean by that. So let me show you an example. So inside the contacts view, your contact might have one email address, but sometimes they have personal email address, they have a business email address. It's very often very common for people to have more than one email address. So that's what the function is. You can actually add additional email addresses. I'm just going to go email@123.com and just click out of it and that gets saved. So what this new update does is if you're trying to find a contact that has a particular email address, it will now allow you to search for those additional email addresses as well inside workflows. So let's head over to an automation. I'm going to show you real quick what that looks like. So we're just going to put an action here to find contact. So that's the name of the action, find contact, and save the action. And we're going to specify email address is, and let's just put the email address that I've put in there in the example. And we're going to select this to include additional emails. And that's how we'll be able to find that. So drop that in there and save action. So what that means is now any contact that goes through the workflow, and we're trying to find if they do have that email address, it'll be found, and then the next action can happen. So that's a good little handy update for more advanced filtering and automations. Our next update is for those of you who use Monday.com. We now have a native integration with a ton of new actions and triggers. So how that works, you just need to add in your API key from Monday.com. There's a handy little instruction on what to do, and then you'll be able to do a whole bunch of stuff. So let me just show you real quick how you do that. So as with any of our integrations, you head over into settings, native integrations, you head over into settings, go integrations, and now right here is you have Monday.com available right here. When you just click that button to connect, that will prompt you into fetching your API key, which is by following these instructions, pretty straightforward. And then you drop that in there, and then you'll have a full integration. And you can do things like create new item, create new task inside your Monday account. Our next update is ability to pause particular workflow action in the automation. So this is super handy if you've built an automation and there's particular actions that you no longer want to run, but you don't want to delete them either because you might want to use them in the future. Just to give you an example of workflow that has a lot of actions and how that works. We have our own onboarding sequence for new customers that we built. And in that sequence, we've got a lot of different emails that are all important. But let's say there is a particular email that is really well written, but we don't want to run it for a while. So what we can do now is we just hover over any of the communication related actions like SMS messages, and we just hit this little icon here. And then this will gray out the whole action and it'll pause it. So what that means is any contact that enters this workflow, as an example, will continue running through the workflow. It'll just skip this particular action. So it's a super handy way to have that action still there as an archive in case I want to run it again in the future without having to delete it. So that's that. Our next update, following up on the automations as well, is now you can actually drag and drop both the actions and triggers into the workflow where previously it wasn't available. So what that means is if I click on any of the plus signs, let's say just go down the bottom here. If I click on the plus sign, I can go here and select an action that I can just click in there and it'll add it here and I can specify it. But now I can also, without having to click anywhere into the workflow, I can just click on the button to add action. And let's say it's a sent email action. I can just drag it anywhere I see. It just makes it a little bit more intuitive when you're building workflows. You can drag and drop. Now, this is our new segment as well. We will be letting you know about the new features that are entering labs. So labs is kind of like beta option of new features that haven't fully been published, but we do give you an option to release those in your own sub account. So what we now have available is Email AI. Email AI, which basically allows you to talk to an AI to help you generate a new email like from scratch, including visual elements and everything. So as you can see here on this example, we are talking to AI with the assistant and we're deciding what brand voice you want to use, what design kit and all that stuff, and then it'll do it. If you want to learn more about the features that are not available to you yet, but they can be, if you just head over in your own sub account, if you head over to settings and click on labs down the bottom corner, this will take you to the section where you can experiment with our latest features and enhancements before they're fully available to everybody else. So you can search through it. There's a lot of different new enhancements that you might want to try, and you can also search for it. So if we look at that specific one, Email AI right here, Email AI Beta, if you click on Show More, there's a bit of a description on what that is, and then you can simply toggle that on, and then you'll be able to use it. So I've just toggled that on now, and if I go to Marketing and click on Email, I can now use AI to help me generate a brand new email. So I can click on Create Campaign, select blank if I want to, and use the Design Editor, click Select. When this loads, you'll see in a second, on the left-hand side, I now have the Email AI Assistant, which allows me to either assist or build the whole sequence in scratch, and I can just talk to it and just say, hey, I can use the assist, I can select the brand voice that I've got, associate my company, here is the instruction, and then I can just hit submit, and then this will now go into work and create me an email. So it's currently processing. There is a couple of minutes wait time, so you can have just to wait for the AI to do its magic. But as you see, it's analyzed my prompt. It's my instructions where to create an email template for my company, which in this case, we're a CRM service targeting small businesses. The goal is to equip these businesses with an all-in-one suite of marketing and sales automation tools. So that's what the prompt was for this newsletter. But you could say if you're a plumber, it could be, hey, create me a newsletter to educate my local market about products and services that we have. Whatever your business is, you just talk to AI, give it the right instructions, and then you hit go. And as you can see here, it's already been about 2 minutes and it's analyzed my prompt. It's done what it needed to do. And then here is the final result. So it's not ready to go, but it definitely goes a long way in speeding things up. So I would just have to go here and adjust a couple of things. Like I might not like this gray background with the white text on it. It doesn't look that good, but the copy is there. I could tweak it, fine tune it, or I could talk back to AI and say what I want to improve. So that's the new email beta, clearer, faster, smarter way to talk to it. Our next update is for WordPress. So if you're hosting your website on WordPress with us, we now have an AI-powered page builder available as well. So you can speak to AI and it'll allow you to generate a new page inside your WordPress, which you can then go and fine-tune. All right, so that's it for the updates for the week. Now, we do also have an upcoming feature release, which I'll tell you about, and that's to do with more typography options for funnels and websites. So very soon, you'll be able to upload your own custom fonts, your brand fonts that you might have from your designers to make your website and funnels even more on brand. Thank you for watching today's weekly release updates. If you got 60 seconds and would like to provide any feedback to us, you can simply scan the QR code and leave a testimonial or a feedback. Thank you so much. And as always, remember, we're here for you. We've got lots of different support options. If you ever want to find those, head over to customer support page, which is standoutfromthepack.com.au/support. And on this page, you can learn about all the different options to help you grow your business, troubleshoot anything you're trying to do in a system, from self-help options, our knowledge base, hundreds of articles, as well as our 24/7 live chat, open office calls, Zoom calls every week, or our community.
Subscribe for more tips on harnessing the power of smart automation and AI in your business. Stand out, grow, and prosper with us.